love or not, but our interest is common. And it is so common that luckily her liking, even right up to vegetables and food, is almost similar.
Advertising agencies, it is always wanted yesterday. That is the tagline.
He learned a little bit of madness from me, and I'm trying to learn a little bit of quiet from her.
You didn't let your ego come in.
Ego is
There
the
was a
worst thing that can
thing.
happen. Worst. It takes your happiness and it doesn't help anybody.
Meet Kishori Kukde, a fitness icon and a yoga enthusiast who in her 60s can easily give a run for the money to any 20-year-old in performing these asanas. With a career of 3 decades in advertising behind her, Kishori has crafted many memorable commercials. Chief among them are the commercials of Leo Toys and Kalaniketan Sarees. Kishori is married to Gopi Kukde, considered to be one of India's ace ad gurus, known for the Onida ad and the Pan Pasand TV commercial that many would recall as the glorious days of TV advertisements. Gopi is one of the stalwarts from the advertising world in India. Shadi aur tumse kabhi nahi. This line, immortalized by a gentleman called Gopi Kukre, is right next to me with his better half, Kishori Kukde. Gopi has immortalized another very famous line that as a child, I remember watching it on TV, which is the Onida ad, neighbors envy, owners pride. Some of you will remember it. So welcome to Jugalbandi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I start with you, Gopi? Can you
Yeah,
tell me about your early years in advertising, when you wrote these one-liners, you're still remembered by them. What was it like working in that
Basically
era?
I'm not a writer. So the lines were written by Ashok Roy.
Okay.
These were all we used to ideate together. So the ideas is
okay.
born out of 3 people, who is
Okay.
Ashok Roy and Gautam Rakshit and me. So of course
It's a collaborative thing.
Yeah, of course. And the films are directed by me. So most of the people who know me, they say, "हाँ, तुम दिखते हो उसमें सबके साथ." You know, the way I narrate things. Anyway, see, I came to advertising by accident. I was supposed to be an architect. In the sense, I right from the beginning, people say, "तू तो architect बनेगा." Good at drawing, good at technical things, and fairly good at maths and science. So I went there. The building which was there for commercial art lured me. I went inside. They said, this is the commercial art. You come and join this. They used to call it applied art. It's still called applied art in the government government language. I stayed there. I didn't go to become an architect. And this is a result.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So those were very early days, would you say, in advertising as a career?
Yes.
Very.
was.
That time I didn't even know. It was half knowledge.
So by default,
by
in a way.
default, it happened.
So is that where you met Kishori? How did you guys meet?
Ours is arranged marriage.
Oh, it's an arranged
You will
marriage.
be
Okay.
surprised.
But then both of you had this common interest, because I know that you're
Yes.
an art director as well.
Yeah. So even I went to the college for 5 years, and I wanted to do this profession itself, and I was determined. So I passed out, and Lintas is my first agency to work with, and then while working over there, we got engaged and all.
So it was
The
like
proposal came, and he was looking for a girl who is in advertising.
Oh, you
so
were
you better
consciously
understand,
looking,
yeah,
yeah.
because
That I was
this
sure
field
of.
is very
Very sure.
different. Okay, so especially women.
Yeah. But then
They
it must have
should.
been difficult, like, where firstly it's a profession where not too many people are there, and that then to look for a girl who's actually in that profession, you had a challenging time finding.
Not really. First girl.
First girl.
Yeah.
And first boy.
Lucky.
Really?
That's
Actually,
really
My
it
uncle
really
knew her,
destiny.
her
Okay.
family, and they knew that she was in advertising. But
Yeah.
Kishori, if she was in JJ, she would have never
I would have
married me.
never married.
I was very notorious.
Oh, so you guys
We are
were not
poles
around in
apart.
the same time in
No,
JJ
no.
college?
No,
You were
She was in a different college.
different college altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're saying if you would have met in those days, you would have not liked him.
No way, I'm such a quiet
Should have run
person. We
away
are
from
poles apart.
Poles apart. Okay.
Poles apart.
Yeah, but then how
That
did you
way.
make it work then, Kishori?
So it's like, see, I was working for other agency, he was working. So it was like never crossed each other's paths that way.
Okay.
We used to discuss things, concepts. But when execution and all those things, so because to him and me, concept is a important thing than designing it.
Okay.
Design always comes later.
Okay.
For me and for him also. So that is the basic thing which we agree.
You would be discussing work,
Yeah, of course.
Gopi, like you would be exchanging notes on
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other's
We've been
ideas.
each
all the
other's
time.
critic for a long
Each
time.
other's critic.
And bouncing wood.
Bouncing board, absolutely.
That's a very nice thing, you know.
It is.
And my daughter is also belong to the same profession.
Okay. So
She
you've
also-
raised a daughter and you had a common area, common interest. A lot of people say that in relationship you need that. You need a common project which brings the two people together beyond your, say, physical attraction or man and woman, whatever. You need a common agenda. Is that correct, Gopi?
100%.
100%.
How would you?
Can I tell you
how
a
do
story?
Yeah, please
okay.
do.
We had been to this Farzi restaurant called Farzi across, and we were as usual chatting. We got the place next to the bar, and there was a high table, high chairs, and we were chatting as usual because see, for us, since we belong to the same profession, same interests, we can never keep quiet. At least if we start talking about the menu, I like, do you like the font? Do you like the design?
Okay.
I think it would have been lighter.
And we were nicely having drink and all.
Yeah.
So there were 4 guys, 3 girls and 1 guy sitting about 1 row next to us.
Okay.
So one girl came to us and he said, "Can I disturb you, sir?" I said, "Why? What happened?" He's saying, "Is your marriage a love marriage?"
Oh,
So I said,
suddenly.
"How suddenly?" So I
Yeah.
said, "Why?" He said, "We've seen you chatting right from the time you came in. It's like most of the time the man looks at the WhatsApp and the
both
woman
of them
kind
on
of,
their phones?
So he said, "You've been chatting like as if you've been in love for a long time." So I said, well, love or not, but us interest is common.
Common.
And it is so common that luckily her liking, even right up to vegetables and food, is almost similar.
Yeah, so that busts a
So
myth.
the
I tell you.
wavelength,
Yeah.
it matches so well.
Yeah.
So very rarely is, disagreements.
So therefore, would you say it's a myth that people say opposites attract? I think similarity is very important.
Of course.
Of course, that's what
100%.
I feel.
Yeah. So why are relationships
Someone is
failing, Kishori? Why do you think
I
today
think-
people believe a man and a woman staying together in the same
Ego?
cohabiting has become impossible? People are coming up with new concepts now, of staying apart and being in a relationship. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, I have heard.
Very
but I
alien-
think
Ego.
ego hassles. That's what
Okay.
I feel. It's like when we were working, I was working on some project, but by that time I had started my freelancing. I had left this avenues and I started on my own. So there was a copywriter and a very good friend, and we were working together. So she says, "Kishori, can I ask you one thing?" So I said, "Yeah, why not?" So she says, "Do you ever envy Gopi?" I said, "How come? Why?" It's like,
Unimaginable for you.
yeah, unimaginable.
Huh.
So she says, he's so successful. He's such a popular person. He's
So
so
professional
basically said a
rivalry, they were-
professional
yeah.
rivalry.
Huh,
Yeah,
huh.
that is what.
They were asking you.
Yeah, she was asking. I said, "Never ever." It didn't even, it's
Occur
like
to you.
occur to me. Because his work is different. I adore him. I appreciate his work and I learned a lot of things from him. So it's like, it's so nice. In
Yeah,
fact,
there's
it's
no
such a
question,
nice
yeah.
feel,
You feel proud of your
Of
partner.
course, I'm so
It's
proud of
basically
him.
the admiration, the pride
Admiration,
that
yeah.
there is no
And-
place for any other
Yeah,
emotion there.
yeah.
What would you say, Gopi? Like, do you think, today's world, relationships are very fragile, and Kishori said it beautifully, it's ego, in one word.
100%.
What, according to you, is the reason? What's the enduring quality in your relationship?
See, first of all, we have common interests, that's one. Secondly, we have also varied interests at the same time.
Okay.
Like, she's very quiet, I'm very bindas, I can do, I'm
Yeah.
completely mad.
Okay.
So she learned a little bit of madness from me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn a little bit of quiet from her.
So we are adapting.
Yeah. So that complements each
Yes,
other.
yes.
I will give you one small thing,
Yeah, please
how
do.
different we are. So when I started on my own company, so it's a very small thing, but I was thinking of the name at that time. So I said, "Oh, what should I use?" So I thought of Golden Mean. Okay, Golden Mean is a very so classic, and it talks about my profession and everything.
And as Shant as would say,
And-
quiet
yeah,
like her.
and it goes with my
With your
personality.
personality.
Yeah, so that's my persona.
Yeah.
So I asked him, so I said, "Gopi, what do you think?" So he said, "Suppose," and his ideas are like, I always know that he will come out one bad idea. That's what we say in Marathi, It's like completely unimaginable. He says, "Okay, what about cutthroat?"
Just the other end of the spectrum.
I said, no way, it doesn't go with me at all. I can't portray myself as.
It sounds violent.
And the visual shocked her completely. I said, we'll have a blade
Oh my
with
God.
blue blood on it.
Blue blood on it. So it's very
That's just
creative
not
and all.
Kishori.
So I understand, I appreciate creativity, but
Yeah.
what it communicates, no
I
way. I
can't.
said,
Yeah.
this golden meaning.
Yeah. But perhaps you were joking. Perhaps you sometimes like to, challenge her with your ideas.
Oh,
or-
yes.
See, I believe in one thing when it comes to
Yeah.
ideas. They should not just tap you on your back. It should kind of pinch you up or slap you. Something memorable.
Yeah.
And relevant, of course. Because
Yeah, yeah,
advertising,
yeah.
if it's not relevant, it's not good enough.
Not good. So coming back to that, then tell us, why is it that in those days we had these punchlines and it stayed with us and it had a great recall value? Like I remember those lines now like it was yesterday. How come today we don't have those one-liners, those punchlines? Or is it because there's too much bombardment?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a history what happened to advertising after 95. First of all, of course, the computer invaded, which cut down a lot of jobs. So that, of course, would have happened anyway. But the main thing which was happened is that the agency and the clients were like husband and wife.
Okay.
And the child being the product. So every year there would be reviews, there would be what went wrong, what went right. So the agency would give the input, the clients would say, we should fight like mad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were all in the interest of the product.
There was a synergy.
Yes,
kind
that
of.
separated because media buying, which was done by the agency otherwise, was bought by a third party.
Oh, okay.
So they would buy media in bulk and sell it in chutta mal. That broke the basic structure of this.
Principles,
So
yeah,
clients
yeah.
became, the agencies became just creative providers without the understanding as to what is happening there. And the client thought they would get a cheap creative from people and then just give it to the media people, they'll release it. But that's not how it works. You have to be with the product to महसूस करना पड़ता है product for the movement and whatever. Exactly like the mother would kind of nurture the baby.
Correct.
That relationship broke, and after that everything is just freelance.
So now there is no such gestation period.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
suddenly
Yeah.
instant gratification.
Yes.
Is that something, Kishori, you notice in relationships as well? People are lacking patience, they do not have the empathy, and everything is expected to be very instantaneous.
Yeah.
Because I notice that. I don't know.
The respect for each other also comes into it.
Also comes into it,
Because
yeah.
point of views, they differ, right?
Yeah.
So you should understand the other person's point of view also, and then come out with something else, which will come together. I mean, close to whoever's. It's like golden mean, what I talk about.
Yeah.
So that's what happens, and if you have that understanding, then it's not too much of a problem, because it's not that whatever he does I like, or it's like I have many suggestions, but the thing is we hear it out and then do what you want. It's like that. So there is no pressure. He won't get upset, "Arey Kishori, I told you and you should have done this." No, it doesn't happen that way.
So
Or
I
even
want
it's
to
like-
then come to these mantras
So,
now, the
mantras.
relationship mantra. So let's start with success mantra. Gopi, tell me, what do you think? How do you define success? See, for some, it's the professional success. For some, like I would say, when a person is able to have a very happy personal relationship along with a decent living, izzat ki zindagi, sukoon ki zindagi, I would say is success. But what would you define as success?
I have a different, the way of saying is different, that my smile line has to be intact. That is success.
Sorry, my?
Smile line.
Smile line has to be intact.
Intact. I've been through various agencies, like the worst of the whole lot, which also taught me a lot, was Clarion Advertising.
Okay.
It was the number 2 agency of the India. This was just after
Yeah,
about
I know Clarion.
1 or 2 years after. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing.
Oh.
So in the bargain, there was a huge chance of learning, and there was a huge chance of getting frustrated and kind of killing yourself.
Oh.
Initially, when I joined, it happened. I said, my God, wherever I landed, and I should get angry with myself. And then I sat one day, I said, what am I doing? The more I get angry, the lesser productivity, I can give out. So I said, nothing doing. Now I'll be cool. And then I was there for 3 years. Every 6 months I would get, increments. Because they said, this is the coolest guy. He never gets rattled.
Oh.
That was cultivated.
So you learned to be
It was
calm,
cultivated.
cultivated.
Yes.
Okay, a big takeaway I would say for people like us who also work in very demanding professions.
Yeah.
Most
There
of
are
the
deadlines,
time,
there are
most of the
pressures.
time there used to be big fights with creative and the servicing. The creative thought, these are postmen, they have no, akal. They will take things to client. Client says no, they come back and say, do it again. So they should kind of say, "Aage postman, mera creative child."
I'm remembering.
They would get mad. All the creative.
Yeah.
I on the other saying, okay, आ जाओ, reject हो गया ना बैठ जाओ. पहले coffee हुई थे. Now you tell me what is rejected and what is. So I would get into it and say, okay, do one thing. I'll remember one thing. There was you remember Strepsils as a product?
Strepsils, yeah.
गले में खराश.
Yeah, गले में खराश.
So there was a vertical ad. अभी vertical ad में how can you go sideways? There was a man coughing. Then there was a headline. Then there was a product. There was a baseline and maybe a little bit of body copy. This guy I did some about close to 40 layouts. ये थोड़ा बड़ा करो, ये छोटा करो, ये करो, वो करो. Every time I had all kinds of headlines in strips, in photographic strips. I would put it there. Is this okay? He said okay, done. Go back. He said नहीं Gopi. ऐसे एक काम करते, तू साथ में बैठ. I'll give you these are the headline का टुकड़ास, various sizes. Product का टुकड़ा, various sizes. I had already collected in this. I say okay, you make a layout. कर दो. He said, what about you? You'll feel hurt. I said, not at all. I'll learn. So, kar de.
So, there again, the ego didn't come in.
Exactly.
You didn't let your ego come in.
Ego is the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, I think that's very
It takes your happiness.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, and I was reading this, a Harvard study recently said that 90% success is because of emotional intelligence, only 10% is IQ. And what I just heard from Gopi is emotional intelligence. It's not exactly IQ or how you crack a solution, it's about just being calm, being mature, and okay, you do it. I'm fine with it.
Absolutely.
So that takes, a person to
I'll
be secure enough.
Yeah, funny incident about Suya Samethan. I shouldn't be taking names, but this is really funny.
I know, yeah.
We were shooting for Nirma, and she was wearing a white saree, so white blouse, and there's some flowers or something. They wanted to project the whiteness of the thing.
Okay.
Very dumb calendar. We were shooting for the calendar. So she was doing all kinds of things, and then I said, Sujata, ek kaam karo, we've shot enough. Just kind of take your hair little, and you see that doesn't look good on me. So I said, it's not looking good. It is just to cut the white. There's so much white blouse, white saree.
To break the monotony.
She's saying, no, that's that. So I said, okay, very nice. So I told my photographer friend, I said, reel mat dal. That time it was chemical thing. And just shoot. So we shot lots, like maybe 30, 40, 50 pictures. So then I said, see, this we now anyway got it. We use from here only. Now just for rejection sake, take your hair.
Wow.
So I said, abhi dal.
Smart.
So
but
he
you
comes
got
out
thing
with
out
these
of
ideas.
It. You knew how to get it out of
Yeah. I'm the other way around. I get upset. I get agitated. It's like I force upon them and this that.
Because then it becomes, why are you throwing a tantrum?
Exactly. The whole mood goes on. The whole mood.
Once I was shooting a fashion catalog, and one model, she was like, what she was thinking of herself, one doesn't know. And she was not following my instructions. Straight away I said, if you don't want to follow my instructions, you can leave, please.
Yeah. But in a calm voice, your voice is so calm. I would not take offense if Kishori was telling me to leave.
No.
She can be sharp.
The quiet was as sharp as razor.
Yeah, as sharp as
really?
razor. So it's like,
ask me.
so he is very cool. He is very cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's
he knows how to, handle the situations like. Plus,
so that is high EQ probably, That's probably high EQ.
Yes.
When you have that, when you're so secure in yourself that you don't feel the need to, I don't know, but we women, maybe even I would admit that I'm more of Kishori than Gopi myself. I want to ask you also, like we asked success mantra, let's come to the relationship mantra. If you had to formulate it in one principle, is there one such thing that you would advocate for a successful relationship in personal life?
Yes, especially when you are in the same profession.
Okay. Yeah, when you're in the same profession.
What happens is sometimes I have to take back because of your kid. So I have to be at home. By 7:30 I should be at home. So there is a limit.
You set boundaries.
As you said, boundaries for yourself. That one thing happens, but then don't feel it's like. Something is restricting you or whatever. So you be happy
your
that
own boundaries.
Yes. So in fact, you should be happy that you can do that, and your husband is supporting you. In fact, I wanted to leave my career, but then he's the one who said after 2 years, when she grows up, you will be nowhere because our industry is such.
Moving very fast.
It will be out of touch, So I was very happy with that. That still I can work and I do what I want. So if you have that feel for each other, that he used to take a, sometimes he said, Kishori, acha, okay, you have a shoot, so I will look after puja, don't worry. Of course, there used to be a maid, living maid and all that, but we used to adjust. So if you
So
have
there is no
supporting,
male-female ego or the
No
very
way.
strict demarcation of roles.
No.
You could do what she's doing and she could do what you do, because
Yeah,
you
of course.
can do everything that Gopi
Yeah,
does in a way,
exactly.
professionally, and he has no qualms, filling in for you. I think that's again
On a
something
lighter
which...
note,
Because
I love
it's like-
cooking, but she
Acha,
doesn't
okay.
allow me in
no,
the
I
kitchen.
never allow him.
Never allow
No
you.
way, no way.
No way.
It's like, and in advertising, what happens, our timings are very erratic.
Okay.
He might turn up. It's most of the time. It's like
And you have to
because in
start if you have to
because
depend on him.
agencies, advertising agencies, it is always wanted yesterday. That is the tagline. Everything is
always
wanted yesterday.
How nice.
Everything is wanted.
Everything is wanted yesterday.
Yesterday. So you work towards that.
That is how
right?
you work.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's like late work and all those things. So he used to come, and plus, not only one agency he was working with, he used to do a lot of this thing freelance.
Okay.
At least 5 agencies at a time.
So you were a workaholic, Gopi?
He
You
is.
were.
I
You
shoot
are
for
still.
18, 19 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to
And
work
happily.
a lot.
And then you had a
Happy.
supportive partner,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it never seemed
So I used to
probably
see him
yeah.
like a family time on Sundays.
Saturdays also.
Saturdays,
Halfway.
come on. People used to wait, in the staircase. We had gone out for dinner or something. And when we came home, there were no mobiles, okay. So one client was sitting on the staircase, waiting for us to come.
Okay. That was the level of
So he's-
schedules that you maintained at
Yeah.
those
See,
those
the
days.
different part about me was I could also draw. Most of the art directors can't draw.
Oh,
I
okay.
cannot
So I can't,
at all.
They have
Mine
to have
is
a
ideation.
photograph or a reference.
Oh.
I didn't.
So
So
you
I
were
could draw,
multitasking.
like this is a woman doing, say, knitting. I could draw a woman knitting and do
Oh.
the complete layout that the client could understand.
So you were like a one-stop destination. Everything
Yeah.
gets done in one
Yeah.
go.
He
So
is
that
capable of that.
working, wanted yesterday suited me.
Suited you.
And another thing is, you used to make even storyboards.
Yeah, so
So the cinematographer used to, used to be so happy.
Obviously.
He has to just follow
Everything
the
gets done.
storyboard, now I don't know how many people do it,
Yeah.
but those days,
But tell me, do you also have a mantra for a successful marriage?
I think respect for each other, number one.
that is the only thing.
as humans and as a professional, both. And least ego.
Yeah. I mean, respect, I would understand this as when you also respect the boundaries. If your
Yes,
partner
of
has set a
course.
boundary, you don't
Yes.
question it. You just feel,
Yes.
okay, that's what
Correct.
she
That's it,
wants.
yeah.
I'm not going to, question or probe
Right.
or, make it uncomfortable.
I
Just-
never asked him where you been and all those things,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
once we are in profession, that is why he wanted to marry a girl who is in advertising only, to
So that
understand
makes
each
sense.
other,
So in choosing a partner also, would you say, Gopi, it's like how you had a vision for what kind of partner you wanted? Would you say that's important?
Yeah, of course, 100%. No doubt about that.
So you have to first know what you want.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll just end up getting what the world
Yeah.
serves you, unless you know where you're going. So one last question then, the environment in the country right now is quite tense. Like, as we speak, we are looking at a situation where because of a hostile neighbor, the country has faced a rather unfortunate, tragic incident in Pahalgam in Kashmir, and many across board, everyone is disturbed, to see that happen to our fellow countrymen. As a couple who are living very peacefully in a beautiful home, who have built a life for yourself, do you also sort of connect and get impacted by what's happening out there, or have you just insulated yourself and you don't bother much, Gopi?
No, that will never happen. 100%.
You get impacted by it.
100%.
How do you get impacted? How do you
At
react?
the back of your mind, you also always keep on feeling that it's somebody or something is unfair, and for no reason. So it's like suddenly somebody comes and gives you one slap. You say, "Kyu bhai, what happened?" That's the feeling.
It's an intense feeling of humiliation
Yes.
Yes.
as a country.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Of course.
What about you,
And-
Kishori? Like how,
This is
when you see such things happen, does it shatter your peace कि कितना ही अच्छे घर में रह लो, you know, as if your शांति भंग हो गया ऐसा कुछ देख के?
Yes.
Do you feel that happens, that they
Yes,
may
yes.
have done it there, but it
There,
has
but
disturbed
still,
your peace?
yeah, it disturbs. Yeah, of course.
does
100%.
disturb.
There is no.
I feel
What
hurt.
was your first
I
way? I
feel
want to-
hurt. Yeah.
you feel
The
hurt.
first thing is feel hurt. Why this? Whoever it is,
Whoever it is.
that's not humanity. Everything has to be on humanity ground. You see, there is no. Everyone is equal. Yeah,
And for so many years,
and for so many years.
it is like, जाने दो, जाने दो, जाने दो, जाने दो. So,
How would you comfort?
actually, it comes naturally.
Naturally. There's no template,
There's no
huh?
template. It is.
Yeah, it's like
It-
we
there's
will
a
talk
feel-
about the justification also, how it should be, and it's like, but it is disturbing,
Disturbing,
definitely, and we do discuss what's
so
happening.
some way, some way when you are a married couple now, your kids have grown up, and what fills that conversation? Is it what is happening in news? Is it work, or what is the level and the content that now keeps your conversations going?
Anything and everything.
Everything. Okay.
Mine are a little more madder. Others are a little
but
more
mostly art.
art mostly.
But mostly art.
Yeah, because we see anything like, and we start talking. We
Yeah.
won't even know. It's like
It
in
flows.
yeah,
It
it flows. It's like our second skin. होता ही है ऐसे. So
I think it's
certainly
really beautiful to hear this, and I think the lessons that I would take away from this conversation is that when you have a partner with whom you can talk seamlessly, you know, and it's spontaneous, that's the best thing, because you don't even have to try. It just
Correct.
happens naturally, beautifully, and that is Gopi and Kishori for you. I hope you also have your interesting takeaways from this conversation. Thanks for watching Jugalbandi.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.